Welcome to today's deep dive. So imagine you're standing in a massive sports book or maybe a mission critical security center, and you're looking at, I don't know, 54K screens all flawlessly synced up.
Yeah, all running the exact same live feeds without a single hiccup.
Right. And if you tried to wire that whole setup together with the standard HDMI cables you've got in your living room, the signal would completely fall apart before it even left the back room.
Oh, absolutely. It just wouldn't work.
So today our mission is to look at the exact hardware that makes those seemingly impossible setups actually function. We're decoding the Hall Technologies ULTRA-4K-R dual UHD HDMI and USB 2.0 daisy chain receiver.
Which is quite a mouthful, but it's a seriously fascinating piece of tech.
Yeah, it is. Now this thing is basically the high-tech central nervous system for a commercial building, but it comes with a premium price tag of over $1,700. So, I mean, what makes this so much better than just that standard $20 HDMI cord you'd buy at a big box store?
Well, it really comes down to physics.
Mm-hmm.
Standard video cables have a very strict physical distance limit. Once you push a heavy 4K signal past maybe 50 feet, the data just degrades.
The picture drops out entirely.
Exactly. So to get around that, this system uses a sender unit and a receiver unit to convert dual 4K video and USB signals. And it pushes them up to 100 meters.
Wow. 100 meters.
Yeah, about 328 feet. And it does that over just a single standard CT5E or C6 network cable.
That is wild. I mean, you're stretching perfect uncompressed resolution across an entire football field without losing a pixel.
Right. It completely defies standard distance limits.
Wait, usually when you connect complex AV gear like that, especially over long distances, you spend hours downloading drivers and messing with network configs, but the source material says this is totally OS independent, like zero software required.
Zero software.
How does that actually work? If there were no drivers managing that data transfer, how is it translating massive 4K video files over a network line?
So instead of relying on a computer's processor and software to figure out what to do with the video, this device uses dedicated microchips built exclusively for one job.
Just a single-purpose chip.
Exactly. It takes the raw video and USB data and packages it into network packets right on the silicon. It actually natively supports HDMI 1.4a and HDCP 1.4.
And HDCP is the protocol for digital copy protection, right?
Yeah, exactly. And because it does all this encoding and decoding internally at the chip level, it never has to ask your Windows or Mac operating system for, like, permission or processing power.
Okay, so if typical Wi-Fi or software-driven casting is kind of like a busy public highway,
Full of traffic jams and delay.
right, prone to crashes,
Yeah.
then this hardware is like building a dedicated high-speed bullet train line directly between the server and the screen.
That's a perfect way to put it. It's a pure brute force physical connection.
Got it. Now, how does that scale? Because one screen is great, but we're talking about massive venues here.
Well, the sender unit actually features 3 standard RJ45 Ethernet jacks. So you can fire that signal down 3 different bullet train lines, as you call them, to hit multiple locations simultaneously.
Okay, and then on the other end, the receiver splits that signal back out. I'm looking at the specs here, and you get 2 HDMI outputs and 6 USB ports.
Yeah, a lot of connectivity on the receiving end.
And it says 2 of those USBs are strictly dedicated to a keyboard and mouse. Plus, you can daisy chain multiple receivers together. But the manual emphasizes this first-come, first-served control setup for the inputs.
Right, the auto-switching feature.
I gotta push back on that, though. If I'm at one receiver and someone else is 300 feet away at another receiver on the exact same chain, doesn't that create just a chaotic tug-of-war for the mouse cursor?
You'd think so, but it actually detects physical input activity. So if you start typing or moving your mouse, the hardware instantly locks the data channel to your specific receiver.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, and the moment you stop, the channel opens up again. The next person who touches their mouse instantly takes over.
Okay, so it's not a tug-of-war at all. It's more like a very fast relay race based entirely on who is actively moving their hands.
Precisely. And that type of seamless hardware-level switching is incredibly efficient for collaborative, high-stakes environments, which is exactly why vendors like HDTVSupply use systems like this to outfit major commercial spaces.
You just bypass the fragility of software entirely.
You really do.
So whether you are designing commercial AV systems or you just want to understand how giant venues perfectly manage dozens of displays, it all comes down to bypassing everyday tech limits. They don't rely on Wi-Fi or finicky computer drivers. They use pure, dedicated hardware.
It really is impressive. But, it does make you wonder about the broader network architecture.
How so?
Well, since this system is totally OS independent and transmits all this raw data purely at the hardware level over huge distances, there are some pretty serious cybersecurity implications.
Oh, wow, I hadn't even thought of that.
Yeah, you are essentially building invisible, software-free data bridges straight through massive corporate networks.
An invisible hardware bridge that a building software firewalls might not even realize is there. Well, that is definitely something for you to think about the next time you marvel at a perfectly synced wall of screens. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.